He was the second child that I buried. I buried a 9-year-old little girl who was shot and killed. And that's why I do this work, in recognition of them and their lives. Buried 2 black children, 2 children I buried. She wasn't a TA, but she was Jennifer's schoolmate. And after she was murdered, I started hanging around my daughter, and I started hanging around schools, and that's how I became a teacher. She's 9 years old, shot right over here on Graham Street, not far from Aki. 9 years old, shot to death. And nobody remembers. Her name was Louetta Costin, but her family remembers. I remember. I'll remember till the day I die. There's a real need in this community to give these children a way to learn, to love learning. There's a real need to be given opportunities and access and commitments to these kids in this community. That needs to happen. We had a geneticist, a genomicist here today talking to the students. And the cool thing about that is that she looks like them. She's someone that they can relate to and understand. And so we need to give the kids in this community access to people, access to opportunities. And as far as I'm concerned, there's no place else I'm ever going to teach for the rest of my life. If I'm not teaching in communities of color, if I'm not serving underserved kids, then there's just no point in what I do. We need programs all across this country like this to reach populations like that. You know, it's just what I'm called to do. This isn't a job. This isn't a vocation. For me, this is an avocation. This is something I'm called to do. And I love it, kids are the best people to hang around, but you don't want to see things happen to them. You don't want to see people hurting them. You don't want to see them in bad situations. You don't want to see them hating school and hating learning and not loving learning, because then, that's just going to make it difficult for you going forward. So we just have to give them opportunities and access. So that's what Saturday Math Academy was always supposed to be about, just a place for the kids to come play with math. The schools are no longer a place where kids can learn the love of learning, especially mathematics. So there's a responsibility for people in our community to give opportunities that are apart and outside of what they do and experience in their school day. That's what I think.
What are you reporting?
Yes, I'm coming from the 7-Eleven, the gun shop, right in front of my store.
You shot him in the back.
Olajuwon did dream of becoming a football player.
I became acquainted with Marilyn and Norman through this other company. I don't want to say the name, but it had to do with life insurance and stuff like that. So we all met. And we were all in the same group. So that's how we became family, was because we were in the same group on the same team. And Norm would have his Saturday math academy. And I started sending Olajuwon as one of the students to be a part of that. And Mr. Norm was so impressed with Olajuwon. He just saw something in him. He saw the leadership ability in him and the potential in him, and trusted him with it. And approached me about Olajuwon being his TA. And I was like, sure, go for it, because one of the things that I learned about Olajuwon is whenever he's putting in a leadership role, he excels in it. And then the fact, not only that, but Norm is also, another male figure, another strong Black male figure. So of course I want my son surrounded by however many positive male role models, he can have. So he's got his dad, he's got Mr. Norm, whoever else, whoever else would take him under their wing. I was all about that. And so So he made Elijah One his very first ever TA for the Saturday Math Academy. And Elijah One loved it. He looked forward to his Saturday mornings and hanging out with Mr. Norm. And I completely loved it because Elijah One is being tutored without realizing he's he's being tutored, just with him being there and learning the different things that he was learning without, again, realizing that he's actually in a learning situation. It just made it all the sweeter. And so that's how I ended up connected to Marilyn and Norm. It started out as with our connection came from something completely different to, again, we were always together. So their family is mine and mine is theirs. And Mr. Norm, again, saw that in Elijah One and wanted him there. And that was the kickoff to that.